Hey everybody, it's your girl Jacqueline Chantel.
And I'm Shay, and you're watching Elevated State.
All right, y'all, we back with another topic. So this one was very interesting, and I was thinking like, oh, what is my take on it? So everybody been seeing around the past week, it was all over where it was a video that came up where the mom had a whole bunch of kids by different men. One of the baby daddies brought, what was it, McDonald's? And it just brought it just for his child. And then bring the other kids anything to eat. And so people, it was mixed opinions between men and women talking about what a real man is. And it always goes back to me, and I say this to people all the time. If you look at any choices, bad decisions that you made in your life or that happened to you, any bad things that happened to you in your life, it usually comes from a bad choice that you made 90% of the time. So that's what I looked at this situation. So whether it was real, a skit or whatever, it does happen all the time. So the first thing that came in my mind is you knew who he was before you had a baby with him, before you got in a relationship with him. Definitely, if you was in a relationship with him before you had a baby with him, you knew the type of man that he was dealing with, because that means you had kids prior to being with this man. So that means that this man was already around your kids. You could look at how he was currently treating your kids. And I understand that people say, well, that ain't his kid, it's not his responsibility. But I think it's different. So I could say that if you're just my boyfriend, then maybe there's some leeway that way, This is a boyfriend girlfriend situation. But for me, if I'm dating you in a boyfriend girlfriend situation, it's because I'm dating you with purpose. And the purpose is to see if you're gonna be a husband. And knowing that we're gonna be creating this blended family, one of the first things that I'm gonna be looking out for is how he treating my kids. And he needs to treat my kids like his own in order for us to even be together. So I fought, and people ain't gonna like it, but I fought the mama, because you got with this person knowing clear well this wasn't the first time. It was a lot of red flags and indications that he didn't give a care about your kid. Besides the fact about your kids, besides the fact that they're not my responsibility, they're, that's what they dad's for, Besides that, the fact of the matter that I didn't agree with is that when you get a relationship with a woman, and I think this just goes for any man, if you decide that you're going to get a relationship with a woman, and I'm assuming it's committed relationship because y'all are sleeping together, and you know that she has kids, as a man, you should come with the expectations that I'm taking on you and I'm taking on your kids. If you're not ready for that responsibility, then don't get in a relationship with no woman with no kids. That's just how I feel. So that is the part that I didn't like. As a woman, you need to make better decisions on who you decide to get in a relationship with when you do have kids, because that is the type of man you should be looking for. You need to be looking for a man that you know is not only in a relationship with you, but he's willing to be in a relationship with your kids also. So that's the thing that I didn't like, where all of this, like, that's not his responsibility. I get it. That's not his financial responsibility because they're not his kids. But I feel that to a certain extent, when you agree to get into that relationship, you agree that they are also my responsibility, or just don't get in a relationship. And she should have broke that off a while ago. So I fought her over him because it's the choice that you made. He came being the person who he is, and he probably shown you who he was. You continue to make that choice to be with him. So no, don't get mad at him. Don't get mad at somebody for being who they are. That's what I have to say.
So I agree with you on most of the parts, but I do fault the man here too, because he was saying, well, let me get my son and I'll go take him to, where he can eat the food by himself. Now, you know that she petty, so why you have a child with her? Why you ain't strapped up? Why you going in raw dog? Sir, choose better. Both of y'all choose better in this situation, because this could have been prevented. It could have. But I do fault the mom, because you could have easily been like, okay, well, here's your son for today. Take him out to go do what he want to do. You're right. It's not your responsibility. If I feel like my children are missing something, it's my duty. If the father can't pick up, the other fathers can't pick up where they left off, it's my duty as a mom to pick that up. it's my duty to make sure that they don't feel left out. If he got McDonald's and they want McDonald's, it's my responsibility to go do what I got to do to make sure that they get that McDonald's for the day so they don't feel left out. It's not his responsibility because he didn't tell you to have him kids prior to that, baby. That's not his responsibility. But I also feel like, and this is some issues that people are going to get mad about as well. I feel like this is why broken homes need to be stopped. Simple. Like, we need to be very mindful of who we having kids with. It's one thing, you know, marriage didn't work out, y'all divorced, whatever, co-parenting, great. But we need to be mindful who we having kids with. And for some reason, right now, I feel like my generation, because of social media and so on and so forth, a lot of people are feeling like, oh, let me have a baby. It's a cute accessory. Come on, baby. You're going to dress like me and so on and so forth. Like content babies. I don't freaking get it. Y'all like want to show y'all kids off like their accessories and y'all having y'all kids with anybody, then coming on social media and complaining. I don't care. That was your decision to have that child. Your decision to have that child. So I feel like the broken home thing is major. And this is why I feel like it's so important to, I'm not saying you have to get married, but at least have some form of commitment or some form of, some form of commitment to each other where y'all are having these discussions. Like, if we do separate, how are we going to treat the kids? How are the kids going to, how are we going to handle the kids in the future? If we do separate, and y'all should be able to have those conversations. And if you're not able to have those conversations, that means that y'all relationship is not at a stable place if you guys can't have those simple conversations, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I definitely feel like both parents were wrong in this situation. The mama should have been able to give the baby to the father for him to have a day with the child. The mom was talking about, you know, I don't give food stamps to this day. Ma'am, budget your food stamps. Sorry, not sorry. You know, that's one rule they teach you in budgeting. You budget everything that you get, even if it's food stamps, ma'am. Okay. So budget your food stamps next time. Do it week by week. I know that don't help a couple people I don't talk to. Do it week by week. Okay. Seeing a lot of people posting in the comment section, women saying a real man would have, and then I seen men being like, well, that's only his child. I'm not feeding more kids than I need to. Da, da, da. Me personally, I feel like any decent human being would have been like, it's multiple kids in the house, let me feed all the kids. I would have been like, let me go pick up a Little Caesars pizza instead of me getting McDonald's for one person. Y'all about to get this $5 pizza and everybody can eat. That's my opinion. I would do that with anybody, even if it's been cases where my nieces or nephews are with other kids that I'm probably not even that fond of, and I'm like, oh, it's all these kids here, let me go grab Little Caesar pizza instead of me giving. And I'm gonna grab the Little Caesars pizza. I'm not gonna grab the piece of my niece and nephew. Like, I'm gonna get the Little Caesars pizza. Y'all can eat that. But yeah, like, I've done that, and I just feel like I'm not about to sit there and give one child food and let the other kids watch that child eat. That doesn't sit well with me, and it never will.
And that I agree with. Like that, mm-hmm. Like I even like with my kids, like, I remember when they were littler, and, you know, like maybe you go into like a cousin's house or whatever, a friend house that got kids, and maybe on the way, like, I would get them like food. I always tell them that, and even to this day, I'm like, okay, we're gonna eat our food in the car. We're gonna eat before we get there. Like, don't walk in somebody's house with food. And I just think that it's inappropriate. Like, I just think that it's inappropriate, and I still do that to this day. Even if I go over somebody's house, I won't come over that person's house with food in my hand unless I'm like, reach out to them and I'm like, hey, I'm about to stop by this place. You want something? And then if they like no or something like that, but I'll try to like eat it in the car just because it's rude. But now let me flip it though. What if he didn't have enough money? Like, what if all he had was $3? Because I think they said he only got the baby like a little hamburger, a little $3 meal. What if all he had to his name was $3 and some lint in his pocket? Is he just supposed to not give his child anything at all? Because he's trying to be a good dad. He's trying to be a good dad and get his kids something to eat. And the mama that said that your kid, you know, he hungry, you need to bring him some food. He hungry. And you like, okay, well, that is my responsibility. Man, all I got is $3. I'm gonna spend my last $3 on this McDonald's. Now he made to feel bad. because he couldn't get the other 5 kids something. All he had was $3 to his name. So what do you do in that situation? So dude, now you like, well, I'm not gonna even take care of my kid at all. So everybody gonna starve. I'm not even gonna take care of my responsibility.
I feel like in that situation, that's when the mama is at fault. Because if that's all he had, and he like, that's all I got, you know, and this is where good co-parenting and stuff come in, because it could have been a real situation where like literally that's all he had. And she like, well, all I got is $2.73. My bad. Okay, bet we got a little sticky pizza today. Like for the kids. Like that's where good co-parenting come in at. But it was obvious that neither one of them had that skill to assist children, the child that they had together or the other children. And to be honest, like I said, I would fault the mom in that situation because that's not that dad's responsibility. That's the mom's responsibility. How you gonna ask another man to take care of kids that he didn't help create? Now, I am saying it is natural for me to be like, or for most people to be like, let me feed all the kids and not just bring one child something. But don't expect me to.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to. Don't expect me to do that. So I feel like in that scenario, she in the wrong.
I just feel like what you said, it's very important that, you know, it's very important to understand like who you having kids with. And if you are in a situation where maybe you and that biological parent didn't work out, because we know that those things happen, at that point, you have to add that extra layer of consideration onto who you bring in your child's life and who you're dating. I remember when the kids were younger and when they were small, before I got married and I knew that we were gonna have a blended family. I remember us having so many conversations about what a blended family looks like, you know, and that all the kids are gonna be treated equal. I remember even his mom sitting us down and having a conversation with us. And like, it's very important that all the kids get treated equal, because she was explaining her experiences with the blended family and how that impacts the child mentally. When one kid is treated so differently, and this was inside of the household, which even makes it worse. And I was like, yeah. And so that I already knew was important for me. So I already knew that is what I would look for in any person that I would be with. Someone that I knew was going to treat my kids as if they were their own. It was never going to be like, well, those are not my kids. Those are not my kids. Because anybody with that mentality wouldn't be someone that I would want to get in a relationship with. And so that's why I agree with you when I say it's very important to have that understanding and have those conversations, like especially when it's kids in the picture. And then I forgot what else I was gonna say. Another thing that I was gonna say too is that I remember being younger and dating and being such a young mom, but still having the understanding that you're not going to be spending the night at my house all the time. I'm not going to have everybody around my kid. I'm just not going to do that. And that's the thing that I find very disturbing. Again, to each his own. But that's the thing that I find very disturbing. Also, when you have these women that have these multiple boyfriends, and every single boyfriend got to move in, or every single boyfriend got to be spending the night. No, that's not. Like, I don't think that that's cool, because what ends up happening is sometimes those people do build a relationship with your kid, but then it comes to find out that they're only have built a relationship with your kid while they're in a relationship with you. But now this kid then bonded with that person and y'all didn't work out. So now they like with the kid. So like those are things where, and I've said that, and I remember, that's the point I was going to make. So I remember being, you know, such a young mom, but having that understanding, maybe even from my own personal experiences growing up, like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not going to be my thing. You know, you can stop by, but it's not going to be no shacking up, and it's not going to be no multiple spending the night or whatever. We're going to keep that separately. And I remember being in a relationship with this guy. He got really upset about it. And we had been like dating for like a year. Well, he got upset about everything. You know, think about it. If you think about it, the soda.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because I already did.
And I remember we had been dating over a year. First of all, he was like my friend, just a platonic friend for like 2 years. And he
Mhm.
still hadn't been around my kids, even as a platonic friend, because I didn't see a point of it.
Mhm.
And then we had been dating for like a year. And I remember him having me around his daughter. And he was like, I don't understand. He was getting very upset that that I hadn't introduced him to my kids yet. And he was like, I thought that we were serious. What's going on? It's been like a year. You haven't introduced me to your kids. And I'm like, and I was trying to explain to him. And of course he thought, oh, you trying to keep something from me. Like, no, it's not that. And I realized it was very difficult. It's very difficult for people to understand. No, I just have this moral compass where I'm like, I'm not going to have a man in my kid's life yet. Like, I need to know, okay, is this serious where we're going? I understand you're putting a time step on it and you're saying, well, it's already been a year. But for me at that point, that year still wasn't enough for me to be like, what are we? And so it was probably like 6 months after that conversation. He was really upset that I'm like integrated him into like our lives. But and I've had conversations with several men before about that, and it's been like it's so weird to me that instead of them like finding that like that's very admirable, that's respect that you like that, they're like, oh, I don't understand why I can't spend the night, and I'm used to I'm good with kids, and I'm used to I'm talking to her the girl for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm already spending the night. And that's the dynamics, like you said, that's the culture of today. And I'm like, that's stupid though. I'm glad that that's what you're used to, but that's not gonna be what me. So either you have to respect where I'm at, because as me being a mom, that was my forefront of any relationship. So yeah, to people's point, no, it's not his obligation. It's not his responsibility. Is it the more admirable right thing to do? I would say yes.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I feel like both are faulted in this situation, the mom and the dad. Because y'all wasn't mindful of who y'all was having kids with at all. And y'all did not put the children first. Y'all didn't.
And it seemed like she had several mistakes. You had multiple baby daddies. So it ain't like you made one mistake with the wrong man. You made several.
Multiple. Man, at this point, is you, what did Carlos Miller say? I would try to find a clip, but he said something about you and your hoo-ha. That's the problem. It's not the man. It's not the man, okay? It's you. It's you at this point. Take accountability. It is you, ma'am, for picking these multiple men who ain't taking care of their kids.
Yep.
If you got to take care of him in a relationship, what makes you think he gonna take care of you and them kids?
Right. And
if he was dropping you off at work in your vehicle when y'all was together, what makes you think that when y'all not together, he gonna get his own vehicle?
Right. I'm trying to figure out what was the appeal factor. I don't understand
at all.
That's a whole nother topic, because now something else then popped into my head. I be thinking of conversations that I have with people, and I just be like, what? I don't know. So that just made a whole nother thing pop into my head. Like, I don't know. But
all right, y'all. Well, that's that one. Let us know how y'all feel in the comment section below.